I'm lucky enough to be joined on the phone by Tim C of Rage Against the Machine, Chuck D of Public Enemy, and together they are in Prophets of Rage. Welcome to the show, guys.
Indeed. What's up, AD? We just talked to your friend or maybe adversary or competitor.
Oh, you're talking to one of the other radio stations in town? Here's the thing. Competitor implies that there's a competition as opposed to utter domination on my part.
Make peace in the world. Make peace in the world.
Yeah, but he was saying a bunch of stuff about you, man. Seriously.
Well, you know,
blast him because he was blasting you.
You know, I got to tell you, I think that one of the true powers of Public Enemy and Prophets of Rage and Rage Against the Machine is your ability to heal divides and find common ground through kick-ass rock and roll. So look at you making peace with me and the guy across the street.
Our pleasure. Eh?
Awesome.
So I got to tell you, we love Living on the 110. We love it because it kicks ass. We love Living on the 110 because it addresses the important issue of homelessness and asks us to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. But one of the things that I love the most about Living on the 110 is that you hear Public Enemy, you hear Cypress Hill, you hear Rage Against the Machine, you hear where you came from, but it feels like you guys, as Prophets of Rage, now have your own musical identity.
That's what Timmy C was searching for all along. We have our own identity. You know, we ragified all the music as much as possible in our live performances. We played in front of 2.7 million people in North America, South America, and Europe in our first year. But the challenge is like finding our own identity and then going to step up to that plate. And here's Timmy C.
Yeah, man, it's a sport, and we write our music, and that's an important part of it. But taking it to the stage, for me, at the end of the day, is what it's all about. And we're honing that skill, and we keep getting better, and the shows keep getting more and more insane. And I'm just excited for the future to see how insane it's going to get.
Run that number by me one more time. 2.7 million, was it?
About 2.7 million people all told, you know. Damn, they're doing 60 to 70,000 a day on the European tour and in South America.
What's it like knowing that, look, your music is powerful? Up until now, with various things that you've done, and now, just in the last summer, 2.7 million people. What is it like to know that you've affected the lives of people literally all over the world?
The challenge, you always look forward to being able to top yourself performance-wise. It's something like we have a motto, like when you hit the stage, you know, you got to do the songs or the song's going to end up doing you. And that's just not going to be cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if maybe you're too close to it to see it, but your music affects people deeply. I'm one of them, if I can gush like a fanboy for a second. Public Enemy records, Rage Against the Machine. These things changed my life as a kid. Some of the most powerful things I've ever heard were Chuck D's voice. I did my first ever stage dive when I was a wee strip of a lad at a Rage Against the Machine show at the University of London Student Union. And then I saw you guys a couple years later, again, as a kid, at an anti-Nazi League rally at the Brixton Academy in London. And I remember walking out of that, standing there on a street corner and thinking, I am not doing enough with my life. I've got to do something with my time on this earth, and I've got to do something now. And your music, Public Enemy, Rage Against the Machine, and Cypress Hill have been in many ways a call to action for so many people for so many years, and now Prophets of Rage is the same thing.
I can relate to you because I can say exactly the same thing that you just said, which is Public Enemy and Rage Against the Machine changed the way that I looked at the world and the way that I thought. And I'm so proud and I'm so happy and I feel so lucky and blessed to have been able to be influenced by it in that way, you know, and that's, it's awesome that you were at those early shows in London. Those are like those I will never forget either, you know. So it's an amazing, like I said, it's a blessing to be where we are.
And just the vigor and the showmanship and the emceeing style and commanding the crowd of Be Real is awesome as well, and the turntablism of DJ Lord and just probably the most bangingest drummer, you know, hardest drummer, Brad Wilk, and of course Tom Morello. I mean, it's Come on now.
You know, I got a chance to see you guys soundcheck in San Diego, and besides the fact that you are next level musicians with Brad Wilk and Tim C and Tom Morello and DJ Lord, plus Chuck D and Be Real, what I was really struck by was like, these are the component parts of the songs that formed my musical views, that shaped the way I looked at the world. And I was almost in tears because I was like, these guys wrote the soundtrack to my life. And I know millions of people all over the world feel that way too.
Nobody likes to use the word supergroup, but I do. And to me, it's always a challenge to be able to step up to this, formidable lineup.
Prophets of Rage and the tour that launched you guys seemed to come from out of nowhere very quickly last year. And new album, Prophets of Rage, is out September 15th. My question for you is, this time last year, did you know there was going to be an album?
No, but we had the tour booked almost before we were even a band.
Yeah.
We had that thing inked up early, and we were trying to figure out how to play together before, and the shows were already on sale. So it's insane to be able to the way that we did it is an incredible thing. And then making the record was Be Real's idea. He's like, we should go into the studio right when we get back from this tour. And we were playing so good at the end of the tour. I think if you were at the San Diego show, we had it dialed at that point,
yeah.
And it felt really good. And sort of ride on that wave of momentum into the studio and write music was the greatest thing. And we did it really quickly, 3 months from like inception of the songs to being mixed and mastered. It was a 3-month process, which to me felt easy and fun and exciting, and I can't wait to do that a lot more times.
You're right, because the last show of the tour was San Diego, and we went straight from that momentum into making a record.
Yep.
In 2017, for a band like you that are not only musicians but also activists, there is a lot of low-hanging fruit with regard to subject matter. How do you decide what it is you're talking about? Because I love that you're addressing homelessness on Living on the 110.
Well, I think we don't wish for the world to be, screwed up so we can be a banging band. I think there's enough things going around in the world that we can pick and choose that kind of people like turn a deaf ear and a blind eye to, and we illuminate that, and we go in and put some notes and some words to it to remind people or to make people aware of it in the first time. You have generations who are spouting out. People are turning 16 for the first time. They're turning 20 for the first time. They're turning 40 and 50 for the first time. And so we can't take it for granted that everybody just knows it just because it exists. We're into trying to illuminate a lot of things and putting the power and the gift of music behind it. So there's plenty of things to choose from, and then that's also going to be the emphasis of us being able to create many songs and many records in the upcoming years. So this is not anything temporary. We've been anointed, we feel, by 3 continents on the planet Earth to take a position of saying these things, and it's done with some appreciation. So if it's done with appreciation, we're going to try to nail it to the wood.
Well, in Living on the 110, you have asked us to take notice of something that's right in front of our faces, but a lot of people turn a blind eye to, and that is homelessness. You've asked us to put ourselves in the shoes of someone else, and you've done that on a massive scale, and I can't wait to hear the other ways in which you challenge us on the Prophets of Rage album, which is out on the 15th of September. Tim C, Chuck D, Prophets of Rage, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, AD.
Thank you, AD.